Hey vinyl friends and vinyl community, it's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and it is Monday, which means it's time for another installment of Vinyl Editions. So stay tuned and I will show you all the exciting things I picked up over the last week or so. And welcome back. So, another exciting weekend. This weekend is especially exciting because it was my birthday. Yeah, no big deal. But I was able to go out and do some record shopping to pick up a few presents for myself. And also, I had a few things that I had pre-ordered that came in as well. So I'm going to start this episode showing some of the new releases or reissues that had come out over this last weekend and that I picked up because I was excited about. The first one I'm going to show you is this one here. This is Shrek. Love this movie. The kids love this movie. The whole family. We really dig the whole Shrek series. So when I saw this was coming out, my kids absolutely love Smash Mouth's version of All Star, and I'm a believer. So this was a no-brainer to pick up. So very excited to have this in the collection. Very cool. It's a black wax version. I think they also released a green version, but this is just your standard black. And so, yeah, real excited to have this. It sounds really good. We listened to this over the weekend. The next one I'm really excited about, and this is one that fans of this artist and band have mixed feelings on it because the artist himself came out and said not to buy it when it first was released, and it was really because he had splintered off from the record company and was working on his own live album at the time, and so they kind of both came out around the same time and competed with each other, but both are really good. So I decided I wanted to have this anyway because I really love Jason Isbell's music and figured I'll take whatever I can of his. So this is Jason Isbell and the 400 unit live at the Twist and Shout from November 16th of 2007. And this was released originally as a Record Store Day issue, I think in 2000 and I want to say 11 or maybe 13, somewhere around there. And then they decided to now put it out again. So before now, you could get it on CD and stream, but the record was only available one time in a limited amount of pressing. So getting another press for this one, I had to pick it up, and it was dirt cheap. I think I got it brand new for $13. So can't beat that. It sounds actually pretty good for a live album, and I enjoyed listening to it. Alright, so I mentioned last week that I had pre-ordered a bunch of stuff that was supposed to come in, and some of it didn't. I went to my local store and picked up a couple copies of things that didn't show up, and then one of them wasn't available, and that was this one. This is Megadeth's Endgame. It's the third of the vinyl reissues that they did last week. This one finally came into stock at my local record shop, so I ran down this weekend and picked it up. Very excited to have this. Megadeth is my favorite heavy metal band, so I'm trying to gather as many of their albums as I can on vinyl, and so this is just adding to my collection. Very excited about it. While I was at my local record store, they were having a deal. So Merge Records was having a special where if you bought one of their records, they'd give you a sampler album for free, and also the albums would be on discount, so pretty good discounts. So I picked up a couple albums by the band Spoon, who is one of my uncle's favorite bands, and I just started getting into over the last year or so. I have two of their albums previously, and I picked up two more. So this one is Gimme Fiction, which is a fantastic album, and I think one of everybody's favorites from this band. I believe this one came out around 2000 and maybe 12, or might be a little older than that actually even. But really fantastic album. I think maybe 2008. Fantastic album, fun. And I also grabbed their album Girls Can Tell. And this one I haven't heard yet, so I'm excited to put this on and listen to it. But supposedly a really good album as well. So excited about those two. And of course that then came with this kind of really cheaply packaged, but fun little sampler. I haven't listened to this yet either. So this is kind of a sample of all the different artists that they have on their label. I then went and stopped at my other favorite record store and searched through some of their used vinyl, and I finally found a copy of this one. This is the Beatles Help. This is a mono copy, which I love, so very excited about that. Listen to this. It sounds really good. It's in pretty darn good shape, actually. So real excited to have this finally in my collection. That means that of the official albums, I think I still need to get Please Please Me. I shouldn't say official. I should say of the more mainstream album titles, I need Please Please Me and Yellow Submarine. I think are the two I really need, and then obviously fill in the other stuff like Something New and Second Album and things like that. But Please Please Me and Yellow Submarine are on my list. I did see a copy of Yellow Submarine at the same place, but it was a stereo version, and I think they were asking $14 or $15 for it, and I just didn't want to pay that. I also picked this up. This is kind of like a golden hits of Lesley Gore. This was for my wife. She absolutely loves this album. She tells me about how when she was younger, her and her friend Emily would sit in Emily's room and listen to this album all the time. So she told me that I needed to be on the lookout for this so that she could have a copy, and I found it, and I think it cost me like $4. So picked it up. It's in great shape, so she's very excited about that. All right, a couple albums that I picked up then as well at discounted prices when I saw them. This was kind of my birthday gift to myself here. This is Murder by Death, and if you haven't heard of them, they're kind of like an alt-country type band. The lead singer sounds like Johnny Cash, and they have a little more hard rock edge to their music at times, so it's kind of really cool to get that Johnny Cash sound with a more rock and roll music behind it, but absolutely fantastic. This is Bitter Drink, Bitter Moon is the album title. Murder by Death is the band. This is one that a coworker turned me on to, and really enjoyed the first album I got from them, and I've been looking for a time to pick up a second album. They have a bunch of albums, and they're all themed albums too, so they pick a theme and they write all the songs based on that theme, so kind of a neat little function there. But looking forward to getting some more of these guys, but this is a really fantastic listen. Now, if you remember, I got the album from this, the latest album from this artist, and was kind of iffy on it. I still haven't given it a proper second spin, but I do know that I really enjoy this one. This is Billie Eilish, Don't Smile at Me. This has Ocean Eyes on it, which is a song that really drew me into her to begin with. But all around, this one I think is an absolutely fantastic album. And so I had to pick this up while I was out. I just wanted to have it. And so now that I've listened to this and really enjoyed this, I'll probably go back and listen to her newest album again to try and see if I can't get into that as well. But this one, absolutely fantastic. This is a cool one. So as far as metal bands go, back in when I was, I must have been probably 14, 15 years old, I went with a buddy of mine to the Sunshine Festival. And if you don't know what the Sunshine Festival is, it's a Christian rock, Christian music festival that takes place every year, and it would take place, I believe, in Wisconsin. And we went one year and watched a bunch of the bands play, and one of the bands that played was a band called Guardian. And I was just absolutely floored with them. I was just getting into hair metal and metal music at the time, and they were playing that type of music, which at the Christian Music Festival there weren't a whole lot of those bands playing, so it was real fun to see. The guitar player was fantastic, the singer was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Went out and bought their Miracle Mile album. Absolutely loved that album, and that's all I really had for them for the longest time. So as I started collecting records, I started looking for their albums on vinyl, and they really aren't easy to get. But I did see that there was one album that Amazon had, but they wanted $33 for it, and I'm just not going to pay $33 for that album. So I put it on my wish list, and I continually monitor my wish list to see if prices drop or anything like that. And it just so happens that this one dropped by over half. I got this for $15. It was the last copy they had in stock, which is why I think it was that price. and I nabbed it up, and it came, and it's absolutely amazing. This is great Christian hard rock, fantastic songs, fantastic album, great singer, great guitar player, really all around great. Awesome to have this. I really hope that they're going to reissue Miracle Mile out on vinyl soon, because I would love to add that to my collection. But this is a great start to have. This is from 1990. The band is Guardian. If you don't know them and you're a fan of that type of music, or Stripe or anything like that, check these guys out. Absolutely awesome. On that front too, another band that I just started getting into due to my vinyl forums that I've joined and seen a lot of people really like this band is this one, and I'm really excited to add this in. This is the Iron Maiden album Killers. Now this is not with Bruce Dickinson, which is the Iron Maiden that I know mostly, but everyone says it's a fantastic album, so I decided to pick it up. It had the original singer on it, and I really dig it. I think it's a good album. The production is not as good as the Bruce Dickinson time frame, but the songs are fantastic, and I really enjoyed listening to this album. So definitely going to be looking for more Iron Maiden in the future to add to my collection. This next one I'm super pumped about. So if you know me, I love good Southern rock music. I played in a Southern rock band, and I'm partial to some really good Southern rock music. And one band that everybody has always been telling me I need to get into and start listening to is a band called Whiskey Meyers. So I've been monitoring some of their albums, and they're not that expensive. I just haven't pulled the trigger on too many, but one guy that I have in one of the forums told me that I needed to pre-order their latest album. So he sent me a link and told me why, and the reason was the first 10,000 pre-orders on their website got this. This is their first album, Road of Life, and it has never been pressed on vinyl, and according to the band, it will never be pressed on vinyl again, except for these first 10,000 copies that would go out to anyone who pre-ordered the album on their website, the first 10,000 people anyway. And in this really cool gold packaging. It looks absolutely stunning and fantastic, and you can see my awesome fingerprints up there, which is real good. But just a stunning album. So I listened to this last night, and I absolutely love this album. It is just really, really good. So I'm pumped about the fact that I'm going to get their latest album in September. I'm glad that they sent this off to me. It's really fun, really cool. One-of-a-kind type album that not very many people will probably have in their collections, so I'm very excited about that. So if you are into Whiskey Meyers and you go to their website and you pre-order their latest album, as long as you're one of the first 10,000, which I'm pretty sure you'll still be at this point, you'll get a copy of this in the mail at some point. It probably took about 4 weeks or so to come, but worth the wait, and absolutely fantastic album. And the last one I want to show you is very special. If you've followed my channel at all, you know that I am a big fan of Carly Simon. And I have been working towards collecting all of the albums that are available within reason on vinyl to complete my albums, and mostly studio albums. I also picked up the best of, but I've been trying to get the studio albums. And from what I've seen, the studio albums go up to probably around 92 that are available currently on vinyl. A lot of her later albums, like the bedroom tapes and things like that, are not available on vinyl. There's one album I think that's available that was only ever pressed in like the Netherlands or something like that, and so I don't have any hopes of ever coming across that. But one of them that I saw and I just could never ever find was this album, Never Been Gone. And the reason I found out later was the only way to buy this album is from her website. So I've been waiting and waiting, and finally decided to give myself a birthday present and buy this album to add to my collection. So that means that with this album, I only need one more Carly Simon album on vinyl to complete the vinyl collection, as I've seen it anyway, for her studio albums. And that album would be My Romance. But the cool part about this one is that it's kind of a reimagining of some of her biggest hits. So you've got You're So Vain, you've got Boys and Trees, and You Belong to Me, just Come Around Again, Anticipation. So some of her biggest songs, what she did is she went into the studio with her son, I think it's Benjamin Taylor. She went into the studio with her son and re-recorded these in kind of more of an acoustic or mellow recording, and some of them are just awesome songs, and to hear the different versions or renditions of them is really fun. And there's also a couple new songs on here. Obviously the title track is new, and I think there's one, maybe two other songs on here that are brand new to this album as well. So a real cool thing, and I absolutely dig the vibe of this album. Really enjoyed listening to this. So I picked that up from Carly's website, and like I said, if I can find a copy of My Romance on vinyl, I'll have everything that she put out studio-wise that's available on vinyl. So there you have it. That's everything I picked up over the last week or so. Most of them I picked up at a really good price. Obviously the new stuff I had to pay full price on, but that's fine as well. Really excited about these editions. Have been listening to them throughout the weekend. If you follow my Instagram or Facebook pages, you'll notice I post everything that I listen to, so you'll see a lot of these have shown up on that. Excited about them, and looking forward to, I think I have a couple pre-orders coming in on Friday of this coming week, and a couple of used albums that I bought that are coming in finally as well. So looking forward to showing you those next week. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and like it, please hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate that greatly. Leave a comment with any questions, or just plain comments on what you saw here. Tell me, what are some of the cool things that you've picked up recently. But overall, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, keep spinning vinyl, friends. Ha! You thought the video was over, but I almost forgot my favorite pickup of the whole week. It was still sitting on the turntable out there. That's how much I really like this. I can't believe I almost forgot this. Guys, this is a brand new album, came out on Friday from a just amazing artist who's coming and helping bring country music back to where it should be. He, along with Sturgill Simpson, Jason Isbell, all those guys have really done a lot of great stuff for country music. This is Ty Childers' brand new album, Country Squire, and it is fantastic. Fantastic. I love it. I've listened to it probably 3 times since it came on Friday. I just absolutely am in love with this guy's songwriting. It's just so good. And the album, his first album, Purgatory, is fantastic. This one is just as good. Just as good. So if you're into country music and that style of Sturgill Simpson, he produced this album, and you can tell. His fingerprints are all over it. He and Tyler Childers have great songwriting skills and abilities, and know how to really write a good song. So check this out. This is Country Squire, Tyler Childers. It just came out last Friday, and highly recommended. So there you go. That'll do it. Sorry guys, keep spinning, and we'll see you next time.